Welcome back to the Emoji podcast. I'm Emma.
I'm Callie.
And we're talking about top hats today.
I'm really hyped.
Happy St. Patty's Day to those celebrating.
In a few,
although when people are listening to this, it will have been a few past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I regret to inform everyone that I have not eaten a Shamrock Shake yet.
I think either one is appropriate. I think it depends on if you sip it through a straw, you're drinking it. If you're using a spoon, then you're eating it.
But what if I'm slurping it from the side?
Still drinking.
But opening my mouth very wide.
Are you chewing it?
Yes.
Then that could be eating.
Kind of like a snake eating something motion sort of vibe.
Oh. What do you think the biggest thing you could eat fit in your mouth and down your throat?
Down my throat?
Like a snake.
Like fully swallow? Probably not that big. Yeah. I choke on a lot of things.
Yeah,
including
I choke on
water.
My spit sometimes.
Yeah. My coworker has choked twice while we've been eating snacks together.
Like actually choked or just like
like she started like choking and then like, had to like walk away.
Oh my god.
Yeah. She's fine though. She's cool. Yeah.
That's good. I've never choked on anything.
The first time I ever started choking was when I was home watching my little brother's performance. It wasn't during his performance, thank God, but like we were eating breakfast or whatever, me and my dad, and I started choking and like couldn't say anything and couldn't breathe, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, what do I even do? Because I was on this like really high chair, so I couldn't just like step down, but then it dislodged itself, and I was like, that's good. And then I was like, oh, I'm fine. My dad was just kind of sitting there eating his sandwich.
What are you supposed to do if you're choking alone? Do you have to like slam your back into something?
You're supposed to find something that's at about belly button height. And like, then you were supposed, like a chair or something. Yeah, usually like a chair back is the best. Or something. And then you push up and in as hard as you can against yourself. Yeah. I had to take Heimlich classes like 7 times because I was in Girl Scouts and I was babysitter certified.
Whoa. Cool.
So I know how to do the Heimlich on a dog. I know how to do the Heimlich on a baby. 2 fingers. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so if you're ever choking, call me.
You'll be there in 2 to 3 business days.
Yeah. Which might not be super helpful for you, but
yeah,
you know.
On a completely unrelated note, let's talk about top hats.
Oh yeah.
Leprechauns wear them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Although they sure do. The Lucky Charms guy.
Are you sure? I think he does. He has a big green one.
Is it a bowler hat? Or
a bowler hat?
Bowler cap? What is it?
Lucky the Leprechaun.
No, it is a top hat. Never mind.
Yeah, he wears a big green top hat. Because he's always like taking it off and
yeah. Well, sometimes I feel like leprechauns wear like bowler hats. Bowler hats?
No, it's a top hat. You know the bowler hat guy from Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah.
Now that's a hat.
So you can get green bowler hats. I guess it's not as like...
That just makes me think of The Mask.
I feel like...
Which like, I know it's not even a green hat that he wears.
See, like there's some... I'm thinking of like this kind of variation of like a...
Yeah, sure. That's...
a little different.
It's fair, but it's not a top hat.
It's not as... Yeah, it's not as classic.
No.
I don't know why you would ever... Oh, I'm thinking of the Riddler, maybe.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, he does wear a green bowler hat.
I think I actually am thinking of the Riddler. I was just thinking of a guy wearing green with a bowler hat.
You ever have those days where you get the Lucky Charms leprechaun mixed up with the Riddler? Because me too.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how the Riddler went from this guy to this guy?
It's like so sad. It's like that's Paul Dano.
Yeah.
It's like the most sad.
Have you seen The Batman?
No. With Robert?
It's hilarious. It's not supposed to be. It's hilarious.
Those are low-key sometimes one of my favorite genres of film is when it's like... Oh, good Lord.
What did you do?
Oh, no. I liked... What's the one with Heath Ledger?
The Dark Knight?
Something like that. I liked whatever that one was, but that's the only Batman I've seen.
No, that's a good one. I think Heath Ledger is my favorite Joker, maybe? I mean, not that I've really seen that many different Joker generations. Like, I've seen the original, like, a few episodes of, like, the original, like, show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so... like, the Jack Nicholson Joker. But he kind of looks, like, just stretched out. Kind of creepy.
I'm just so not a superhero person.
That's so
I'm realizing as I grow older.
It's a very, like...
It can have such a high barrier to entry that I really don't enjoy. Like, if you don't know the lore behind so many things, like, you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I used to be, like, really into Marvel. Yeah. Back when you could just watch the movies as they came out.
Because it was like, oh, I watched Ant-Man, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to go back and watch the original Incredible Hulk or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And then it got to a point where it's like...
And now it's like a new movie comes out, and it's like, oh, well, I saw the first one, that's fine. And it's like, well, have you seen this show, and this show, and this show? And it's like, you have to literally look up in advance. I know.
Have you watched all these shorts and, like, read this comic and, like...
Have you watched this holiday special? Like, the new Guardians of the Galaxy? I watched it and didn't... I was so confused because, like, in the very beginning, they reveal... I don't care, I'm spoiling it.
I don't care.
That Mantis is, like, actually the daughter of Chris Pratt's dad, who was, like, a fucking planet or whatever. So they're, like, technically, like, half-siblings. And they revealed that in the fucking holiday special. That should be a non-canonical, fun little adventure where they get up to hijinks, and it shouldn't affect literally anything else. It should be fully self-contained.
And also
it should be self-contained.
So difficult when also you don't have access to, like, Disney Plus, because, like, that's
literally, and then you have to pay. It's a monthly fee,
and it's very expensive. Like, going to the movies once to see a movie is like, much less expensive
every few months to see when, because they crank them out, you know.
Yeah.
But, like,
I mean, in the good old days, it was like once a year, and it was like, okay, I can spend, you know, $40 at the movies for one day. Yeah. And then
the phase from, like, the first Avengers movie to, like, the last Avengers movie, that was it. That was good. And also, like, even before the Avengers, like, all the separate movies, those were great. The Iron Man...
Even I enjoyed those, and, like, I'm not a superhero guy.
All you have to do is watch the movies in order, and it's like, okay, cool, I got it.
Yeah.
I could rant about it.
I'm
actually, like...
See,
because I love Marvel and I love the superhero stuff. Like,
I don't care about them anymore.
I, like, don't care anymore. I'm like, it's not even worth it. Yeah. Like, what if I don't like a show? Like,
I mean, I was nervous because I wanted to start reading Sandman, which is, like, it's a DC comic. I don't even know. He's not really a hero. But I was like, what if I start reading this comic and it's, like, all this DC lore? And, like, I know, like, Arkham Asylum, I know Batman. Yeah, like, but that's all they mentioned, basically. They were like, oh, yeah, this guy was in Arkham Asylum and he escaped. And, like, Batman showed up once. And I was like, okay, like, that is the perfect amount of stuff. Because, like, then I really enjoyed the Sandman. And then, like, sometimes they'd mention, like, oh, Arkham. And I'd be like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Because it's just, like, cultural osmosis.
Yeah, like, everyone's... hopefully pretty familiar. Well, not hopefully. Everyone's, like, generally pretty familiar with, like, Gotham, Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. Even just, like, the name Batman. Like, everybody knows Batman.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know, like, the lore behind him, but you don't need to.
I feel like the DC heroes are maybe a little more, like, ubiquitous than Marvel.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man, Captain America, like... But then they're getting into the really niche characters that don't really have as much established, like, importance in society.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
everyone knows Superman.
They just keep, like, making new ones instead of focusing on the old ones, which, like, DC focuses only on, like, the ones that are already established. And like, they don't really make new stuff, which is really nice. Like, it's refreshing because it's like, you know, sometimes it gets old when they reboot, like, the same Spider-Man movie 4 times. But
yeah, I mean, at least know Spider-Man.
But, like, you know Spider-Man.
And the animated ones are great.
I haven't even seen them yet. I'm saving them for a really good day because I know that they're going to be really good.
And all you have to know is, like I have seen, maybe I've seen the, like, older Spider-Mans. I saw the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah. I've seen, like, clips from...
Yeah, and I, like, vaguely know, like, oh, Uncle Ben, Aunt May, like, blah, blah. I vaguely know. Mm-hmm. Into the Spider-Verse, great. Just, like, objectively good movies. And, like,
and it's beautiful too. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I'm watching a movie, I either want to be really invested in the plot or really invested in the visuals. Yeah. Because, like, I watched a movie, like, over the last 3 nights called The Hunger, which is David Bowie is a vampire. Well, He's not even... It's very unclear what was going on in this movie. It was basically...
vampire-esque.
Yeah, there was... I think Susan Sarandon was a... Maybe she was a... I don't know who was a vampire. I'm gonna be honest. The movie
Maybe
was...
none of them.
It was so confusing. And, there was a whole sequence where it was just David Bowie getting older in a waiting room. But, rapidly. He went from, a young man to, an old, frail... That's skin dripping off of him.
Scary.
But, it was, such a beautiful movie, and, it's all these, lesbian vampires dancing in a club. Or, not even dancing. They were just, standing there, looking at people. And I was like, this is great. I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in the movie.
And that's okay.
But it was fun to look at.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think movies should either be really, meaningful and a really good plot, or beautiful to look at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the best movies are both.
Exactly. So I feel like Into the Spider-Verse, from everything I've heard, it hits both of those.
Yeah.
Really, really hard.
Yeah, it's good.
So I'm saving it for a rainy day.
Yeah. When I saw the second one, the most recent one that came out in theaters, oh my god. I actually left the theater, I was like, that... I couldn't even put into words. It was just one of the best movies I've seen. I mean, that year, if not in the last 5 years,
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting, actually. The feeling when you're leaving a movie theater and you just, everything feels more surreal,
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god.
On the drive home, you're just sitting there, looking out the window.
I love the feeling.
I love that feeling.
Good movie.
I know. Especially I really miss that. Mm-hmm. I miss that a lot. My brother said Dune 2 was the best movie he'd ever seen. And he was like, you have to see it in theaters. I was like, this can't be true, but... on it, I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued.
Austin Butler is in it, and he's bald.
That's so upsetting.
And I don't really... I'm sorry to say this, but bald people kind of freak me out sometimes.
What about Aang?
Aang is cool, because he has, a cool tattoo, and he's, a little kid, But I remember we started watching Avatar, and I literally said,
does Aang grow hair?
I was like, does he grow hair, please? I don't really like bald people.
We're watching Avatar.
Not that I don't like them as people.
Yeah.
I just don't like baldness.
What about Stanley Tucci?
Well, I like him.
He's nice.
He's nice.
Have you seen
nice. Also, I know baldness is not always a choice. I'm not, saying it, for whatever reason you're bald and it wasn't your choice, really. I don't know. I think I especially don't really like cartoon characters that are bald.
Interesting.
It's just, so perfect.
Yeah.
Their head.
There was a windsurfer, apparently.
It makes me uncomfortable when it's, shiny bald. If you have really close cropped hair, cool, that's amazing. If you're, shiny bald, that's, you've been bald for years and you're,
well, you can cover it with the top hat.
What a segue.
Finally, we're back.
What a segue. How long has it been?
12 minutes. Anyway, I also wanted to show you that there was an Olympic athlete who is a windsurfer.
Oh my god.
And he cut his hair into an arrow and then he dyed it blue so that he would channel Aang. Yeah, it was really cool. That was for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
That's really
that
cool.
Actually happened in 2020.
I love when people do cool shit like that.
Me too. Anyway, somebody was like, imagine getting a medal in cosplay in the Olympics. He medaled. He did so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, a top hat is worn in traditional British weddings and other formal occasions. This is also a popular playing piece in the game of Monopoly.
All my homies hate Monopoly.
Yeah, I hate Monopoly.
My partner, one of his favorite games is Monopoly, so fuck you.
I've been saying it for years. Games. It seriously is. Although I do love Horseopoly and Dogopoly. And my hometown...
Those sound fun.
My hometown has a Bootonopoly, which is just fun. And it's actually you can buy it. It's not just somebody made it. But Horseopoly always freaked me out because you're playing as a horse, right?
You're buying horses?
But then you're going around and you're buying horses.
Okay, that's weird.
Right? That's what I said.
Is the person invisible riding a horse? Maybe it's an invisible person riding a horse. The little tokens you mean are horses?
The tokens are horses. The spaces are horses. Everybo's a horse.
That sounds like slavery to me.
I know. That's what I was saying. And my friend was like, no, stop. Eat your Slim Jim. And I was like... So, it's a really weird day.
Actually, that's weird too because I have played the Pokemon version of Monopoly.
Yeah.
And the little tokens are also Pokemon. So are you... Oh, but it's kind of instead of buying property, it's defeating a gym.
Okay.
So you're like fighting the like...
Yeah, like it's like a Pokemon encountering another one. And it's
like, so like the whatever the green like tiles of properties are, it's like Ponyta and Rapidash. And then you like quote unquote buy them, but it's like you're fighting them.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Adding them to your like...
This was fully just like you're buying horses.
Yeah. Are you like making a ranch or something?
I don't know.
Who can make the best horse ranch?
All I remember is I made a meme. You know the meme that's like, it's free real estate?
Yeah.
But I made it say it's horse real estate. And my friend got really mad at me. It's horse real estate.
That's funny.
Do you have a favorite version of the top hat?
Oh, I'm scrolling through them. Some of them are so good.
Do you have a favorite color of a band around a top hat? Like if you had to wear a top hat, what color would the band be?
Oh my gosh. Oh, see, like, now I'm thinking about, like, what will go with my outfits, you know?
That's fair.
Like, I feel like a fully black one is, like, sexy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a little gold is classic. Maybe a little too, like, contrasty. I love a good purple band.
I was going to say,
I think... like, warm. A brown top hat?
Brown could be nice. Oh, yeah.
I love a good brown top
hat. I own a brown top hat. It's the only... well, no, I have two top hats. But my brother had to wear a brown top hat because he was Willy Wonka in the show Willy Wonka. So he had a brown...
It wasn't called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No, we did Willy Wonka, the stage version.
What's the difference?
Okay. Willy Wonka is the one with Gene Wilder where it's like...
Yes, it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That's Willy Wonka. I think it's just Willy Wonka.
Really? I thought...
No, it is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You're right. Because the new one is Wonka, and I'm pissed about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Update, we watched Wonka. Awful
I guess
movie.
We could say that was in preparation for this.
He does wear a top hat.
Hated it.
Awful movie.
Literally, like, it would have been funny if some of the jokes weren't so horrible. Like,
yeah. And
the fact that they, like, made fat jokes and, like, didn't they make a gay joke at one point?
I don't remember. I just know one of the big jokes was Keegan-Michael Key.
He ate a lot of chocolate.
And wearing a fat suit for like half the film. Which is like, I don't know, a little weird.
I'm not a fan of like fat jokes.
Like, I get it. It's like, he's eating so much. You know, even like okay,
they should be doing better though.
But like when the whole joke was like, oh, Thor got fat. Yeah. I was like, that's so lame. And like, it's really not that funny.
No.
And he's like fat and like, grow up.
But even like Thor actually could like
and he was still like doing stuff.
He was still like really strong Literally, and powerful.
All
like,
the jokes around Keegan-Michael Key's character was like, oh, he can't get out of the car. He's so fat. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was really upsetting.
Prepare yourself for about a 7-minute scene of them milking a giraffe.
Oh my god, it was so much.
And talking about a serious plot point while Timothee's fingers are like all up in there.
God. It was like
what?
It was a lot, and honestly, I think I'm worse off.
Awful movie.
Having watched it,
you
made us watch it.
I made us watch it. I thought it was silly, funny, in a horrible kind of way. Like not funny because it was like genuinely funny. I was like laughing at how awful it was.
Yeah, I was just livid the whole time.
I'm sure the kids loved it. Haha, there's a character named Noodle, which like that's not even. That's just weird.
It was so bad, especially because like I have such fond memories of the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. Like that's just
like a villain origin story.
I know, or
Willy
like
Wonka's insane. He's like,
and he's not meant to be like a magical man. And he's like silly and funny.
I'm a magician and a chocolate maker.
Yeah.
So quiet up and listen down. Wait, scratch that. Reverse.
The whole point is Willy Wonka's gone crazy.
He's not like haha funny quirky. Like he literally.
He is insane. Did they not watch the boat scene where they're on the boat?
And then he sings. They have the nerve to have him sing the song.
No knowing where you're going. You know that scene?
Oh yeah, that was so scary.
And then they're like there are bugs and everybody's screaming, and then all of a sudden he's like, "We're here."
Yeah.
And they're in the inventing room.
It's literally a nightmare.
When we did that stage version, we were trying to figure out how we were going to do that because we wanted to have the boat go across, but then we had to like change everything to be the inventing room very quickly. Yeah. So what we did is we had the boat go across. It was on a rope, so like the stage crews.
Oh, I had to pull a rope as stage crew.
Everybody's done that.
It was
before.
a raft. We did the play Huckleberry in Love.
Oh,
awful play.
Yeah,
I think I've talked about it before.
We did a boat for Little Mermaid and then also for Willy Wonka.
Oh, you had to reuse that piece?
But we pulled the boat, and then the curtains closed, and then my brother, as Willy Wonka, went in front of the curtain and did an interpretive dance.
That's good.
Well, he sang the song about, being confused, and then the curtains opened and it was like, we're here. And then I was standing there as Oompa Loompa number 1 in the inventing room.
Yeah,
it was a great play.
Yay. Also, like, we talked about this too, like, we wanted there to be like some backstory for like why he even makes chocolate. How does he make chocolate? How did he get so good at making chocolate and all this stuff?
The first scene
is him already making chocolate.
He's like taking chocolate out of his suitcase.
And I was like, so we know nothing.
They're like, oh, this is a prequel. No, it's not.
It's a prequel for his factory.
Yeah,
for him as a character.
And poor Hugh Grant.
Oh,
I feel so bad for that.
he just looked dead inside the whole time.
Which, like, why
he
wouldn't
was the
you?
Oompa Loompa.
Oh, it was so
Lofty,
sad.
whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And I was talking to other people who, like, enjoyed the movie. I'm sure children enjoyed it, but my older sister also loved it.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, it just, like, kind of bothered me. Like, I wanted there to be, like, a backstory. Like, why does he make chocolate? She was like, well, his mother. And I was like, that is, like...
It's not enough.
Literally, I hate when they have female characters. It happens all the time with mothers, girlfriends, wives, where it's, like, their only, like, personality and like quality is their relationship to a man.
Yeah, like her whole purpose is
just like, oh, she inspired her son.
She used to make chocolate, so now he makes chocolate. But like,
it's like
that's not even. We didn't even see her making chocolate with him.
I know. It's like her making chocolate for him.
And it was like we didn't even see it.
And that was the only thing we heard about. There was one scene with them together. Like, it was not a backstory.
Yeah, it was really.
It gave the vibe of, like, you know that trope where it's like, oh, the girlfriend like tragically died, and then they do some like montage of just her like rolling around in the bed sheets,
her laughing and him taking a picture of her.
Yeah, it's like it was giving that, and I was like, there is no shred of personhood, agency in this female character. And then at the end, he has like some vision of her like smiling and blowing a kiss to him. It's like,
which like could have been so good if she was more
if you started out from that first scene. It should not be him like sailing in on a ship. It should be him with his mother.
Yeah,
maybe you don't even find out that he's Willy Wonka until like
she like calls him inside. He's like outside playing with something, and she says Willy, and they come inside, and then she's like, can you help me with this chocolate? And then we should make Wonka.
We should make Wonka.
I could write it infinitely better than them.
Oh, and they did Olivia Colman so dirty.
Oh my god,
there was that whole weird and
I forgot about that.
Weirdly horny.
Yeah, it was surprisingly sexual movie,
and like it's one of those things like where they were trying to get kids to like laugh or something by like, oh, 2 adults are kissing and they're both ugly. Like, what?
Yeah, it's just like it feels like so we reverted a lot.
So weird, and it was not good. And I'm so glad we watched it high because I don't think I would have been able to get through it otherwise.
Anyway, that's our Wonka rant.
Okay, sorry. Maybe
it's top hat adjacent.
Spoiler warning in the description.
I really hope none of our listeners are super invested in the Wonka.
It was just, and there were so many weird side characters that like, it was just so weird. Anyway,
to pull it all back, I love the WhatsApp hat. I love the WhatsApp hat. I want to put that on my head.
That's a good one. I was looking at that one. I was like, oh, I love that.
I think red and gold remind me too much of magicians. Yes. And I hate magicians.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Telegram, bad.
I know. I don't like
bad. That top hats have so much more meaning than just magicians.
I know.
This has a different meaning now.
I know.
By animating a top hat with a magic wand and rabbit ears coming out of it, now it can only mean magic.
Yeah, it changes a lot, which I don't enjoy it. And I don't like magicians. I think there's a sliding scale. There's on one end there's magicians, and on the other end there's clowns. And I am 100% on the clown side.
Me too. I think I'm like
I don't trust magicians.
I'm not as far clown as you. I think I'm like one scooch to the magician side.
A notch.
Yeah, clowns Clowns are the way to go. That's whimsy. Magicians are too, like, they care about it too much.
Mhm.
You know, they care about their reputation.
It's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, to be a magician is like
Have a little joy.
to risk
Be
so much
free.
embarrassment, but a clown just shirks embarrassment immediately.
Yeah.
The whole point
The
is
whole
that
point is to be just
you are so
free.
ridiculous that you've transcended, like,
Yes.
any sense of pride, you know?
yeah.
And my grandma was a clown, so
Yeah.
it's in my blood,
Also,
it's in my genes.
Even the word clown is just so much better
Clown.
than magician.
Yeah.
I'm a magic maker, a magician.
Have you
So
seen
pompous.
have you seen the show Baskets?
No.
It's this show where Zach Galifianakis goes to, like, French clown school, but he doesn't speak French. So then he's trying to become, like, a mime, like he wants to be, like, a clown, like a really, like, important performer, but then he has to be hired as a rodeo clown because it's, like, the only job he can find. And he has this French girlfriend, and she keeps saying "clown, you are just a clown," and I love
funny.
that. I think it's phenomenal.
Skype? That's a top hat right there. Look at how tall it is.
It's very tall.
It's so tall.
It just, like, I can't stop thinking about the top hat of the guy in The Princess and the Frog.
Yes. The witch doctor?
Yeah,
That's a good one. That has purple in it too, I think.
it does. I think that's, well, actually, he wears purple, but his
Oh,
top
the
hat is
black?
black with a red stripe and a skull and
Oh.
crossbones.
Wait, I want to see.
Dr. Facilier.
Facilier. Oh, yeah!
He is really cool.
I just associate him with purple.
I
This
know.
whole thing is purple.
And, like, in the whole, like,
Um,
song, he's got all purple.
Okay,
on.
I'm looking at emoji decks. I'm going to argue that is not a top hat.
Wow.
That looks like a pilgrim hat to me.
Yeah, it's
The
like,
band is creeping up there.
and I don't like how it tapers.
And it tapers. Yes.
It's
like,
supposed to go out.
if that was
if
yellow,
anything.
that would just scream pilgrim hat.
Yeah.
And the same, I'm looking at Serenity OS.
Yeah.
That's a pilgrim hat. You gotta have the right placement of the band.
I
Oh,
love
SoftBank-
HTC.
Wait, HTC. That one's tall. It's, if anything, it's got to taper out.
Yeah. It's either has to be straight or it has to taper out.
Can't taper in.
No.
That looks too.
It
pilgrim.
changes it.
I like SoftBanks because it's like flying through the air.
Yeah. It's like tipping. You know?
Although I will say that reduces its usability because now we can't put it on top of a frog's face.
Well, but you can.
But you can, and then it looks like it's tipping.
Yeah, and then
that's true.
Be like, "Milady."
They should have a variant that's tipping.
Yeah.
Actually, that's maybe too niche of a usage. I don't know. I do like it though.
Maybe one day.
Same with Mozilla.
I really like Mozilla's.
It's nice. I just wish the band was at the bottom.
That's
of
fair.
of
That's fair.
The turret.
The turret.
I don't know. I just
Oh.
made that up.
I think it's a stove.
Sounds
Is it
right.
the stovepipe?
I think that's a style of top hat, like the especially tall one, because that's the kind of Abe Lincoln wore.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that on Wikipedia.
Apparently, he never called it a stovepipe hat, though.
Other people did.
Yeah.
I think WhatsApp has got to be the best one.
Yeah.
I do like Twitter's. It's a little too like flat for me. I think I like a little more dimension.
That's fair. That's fair. I do. I also like Huawei. I like how it's blue. Like it's going against the grain, and I'm enjoying that a lot.
Yeah, and I also like, for that same reason, Samsung's, because it's like, is that the same? Oh, it looks like almost the same like model kind of as WhatsApp, just like different colors. But I like the gray.
Yeah, I do like the gray.
That's nice.
It's subtle.
Google Noto color emoji. I think your brim is a little too wide.
Yeah, it's reaching like cowboy hat territory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is rare. It's rare to have a Google Noto.
I know. Usually that one's my favorite.
I know.
I think it's just a little weird.
I also
like their 2020 version.
I really like Facebook's, but it might be a little too detailed for a lot of usages.
Yeah. That one is nice. Honestly, I really don't mind Apple's. I think if it had a different color, obviously I feel like yellow is the most like quintessential like top hat, but purple is just so fun.
I think I always picture red, but maybe that's
Interesting.
magician propaganda.
I feel like magician is more purple. No, maybe it's more yellow. I don't know. Maybe red. Red and yellow, I guess, are the most.
Yeah, I feel like I always see red and yellow, but I don't. There's something about the apple's shape that I don't enjoy.
It's kind of curved.
Yeah,
Maybe a little too much. It's nearing. It's like the bottom of a bowler hat.
Yeah,
With
I
a
just
flat
think
top.
I think WhatsApp is perfect. I think they did a perfect job.
Yeah, pat themselves on the back. They better. And you can tell it's like silk. Mm-hmm. It's shiny. Yeah, that one's nice.
So you've seen the inner circle of Punxsutawney Phil, right?
Oh, I've seen them. I'm aware of them.
You know that they wear top hats, right?
Yeah.
The inner circle is the group of people who... They're all men, which I think we should change that. It's been 200 years. But they're the ones who plan the events and feed and care for Phil. They all have nicknames. Do you want to know their nicknames?
Yeah.
Because they're pretty good. Okay, so Punxsutawney Phil himself is the weather predictor extraordinaire.
It would be so fun to come up with some fake ones and see if I can read them out.
Oh my god. I should have done that, but...
No, that's okay.
I'm just going to list them off.
Comment down below. Comment down below. Come up
yeah,
with
what would your
ones.
nickname be for if you were in the inner circle, the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club? I'm not going to say their real names because I'm not going to out them. I'm just going to say their nicknames.
Yeah, the inner circle sounds secretive.
Except all their real names and faces are on this website.
Ugh,
Butch Philibert looks like he would be in the inner circle.
Butch Philibert?
Yeah, look at this man. He kind of looks like he's melting.
Oh my god.
I love him.
He's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got a good mustache for the job.
Yeah. Ready?
Yes.
Shingle Shaker.
What?
Moonshine. Big Chill. Frostbite. Rainmaker. Iceman. Fair Weatherman.
So they're all weather themed.
Chief Healthman, Thunder Conductor, Ozone, Daybreaker,
Whoa.
Downpour, Head Huntsman, Storm Builder, and Overcast.
Those are all... Okay, some of those are, like, epic.
Ozone? Like O-zone?
That's really good.
That's incredible.
Damn, that could be a good nickname for me because one of my family nickname is Calzone.
Yeah.
So... It got shortened to Zone over time.
Moonshine is great.
So Ozone.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Damn.
I'll start calling you Ozone.
Ozone.
Anyway, I love that the inner circle all wears top hats.
Yeah.
And they hold Phil aloft.
They hold him aloft.
Do you want to know some fun facts about top hats?
Yeah.
There was a top hat that was invented that had a switch at the brim and it had a fan inside.
Yeah, you got all that real estate in there.
Yeah.
Got to do something with it.
Which, when I was in high school, I tried to invent a hat that you'd put in the freezer, and it had it was like an ice pack, but a hat. And then it would cool you down.
That's cool.
But it was very hard, both figuratively and literally.
Hold on, I just got to show you. They used to make these collapsible opera hats. I did not expect them to get that flat.
Is it named a gibbous? What is it?
Gibbous. Gibbous? G-I-B-U-S?
Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, your top hat's blocking the person in front of you, so you can collapse it down. But it goes flat. Yeah. Like you can keep that in your coat.
To carry around. Well, have you ever seen somebody flip out a top hat?
Yes, I have.
That's a gibbous.
Wow. Yeah. I just made that connection thanks to you. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, that is beautiful.
On the Wikipedia, it says that Abe Lincoln used to keep notes and things in his top hat, which I didn't even know before I was obsessed. Well, okay. I'm obsessed with Abe Lincoln a little bit. I was more obsessed with him in 4th grade.
It takes courage to come out.
I know. And I'm coming out. I am Abe Lincoln romantic.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love, guys.
Love is love.
Love is love. It's a Ringo Starr. Yeah. Peace and love.
So when I was in 4th grade, we had to do a wax museum project where we had to dress up as some historical figure, and then
no one did blackface, I hope?
No one did blackface.
That's good.
The person who won was dressed as Betty Crocker, who is not real. So
what?
I just want to say fuck you to the judges of my 4th grade wax museum class.
They get confused with Betty White or something?
No. We had to, you had a little button in front of you and you had to stand, and then people, the rest of the classes would come around and press your button, and then you would give a speech that you wrote, and then you'd have a little poster. So I was Abe Lincoln.
That's so cool, actually.
And I memorized this whole speech about his life. I also memorized the Gettysburg Address, but that was just for fun. But and I stored
you have a shot glass with the Gettysburg Address on it.
Of course I do. And I stored my my note cards in the top of my top hat.
And you didn't even know that.
And I didn't even know that he did that. Which I think is beautiful.
In the top, in the little kind of dip?
Well, I had made it myself, so it was a normal hat, and then I had felt around. I put felt around it.
Oh, so it was totally open at the top?
It was it was half open, and then I had a little shelf, so I put my little note cards in. But it was
smart.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So where did he just store them in his hat and then put his hat on?
I think so.
That's amazing.
It seems like that's
so to get his notes out, he would have to like either tip his head forward and take his hat off so that they wouldn't go everywhere, or like they were really well balanced.
Yeah.
And they're like sitting on his head.
I love the idea of him being like, oh, 1 second. And then like taking his notes out. One of my coworkers, I think yesterday, was walking through our like little office area, and I looked up and he had a little roll of yellow tape just balancing on top of his head while he was walking. That's cool. And he had a big smile on his face.
Oh, he was pleased.
Yeah.
He was pleased.
It's really silly.
I think it's so human to balance things on your head.
I know. It's beautiful.
I think it's beautiful when you balance something on someone else's head.
That happens to me a lot. Like, people just... I think because I'm short, people like to put things on my head.
And I love when no words are exchanged about it. You just, like, start putting... And then the other person just gets really still.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're immediately invested. And then you just see, like, how long. Yeah. Like, there's that picture of me with a snowman on my head.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we were walking to class.
Yeah, that comes up in my little... my image gallery.
Our friends built a snowman on my head. And it stayed for a little bit.
Yeah, I was
Obviously,
impressed.
I couldn't really walk with it on. So then I tipped it off my head and continued on to class.
That's all right.
What would you hide in your top hat?
Probably candy.
Yeah. That's magical.
I would love if like a kid came up to me and was like saying some crazy shit, and I was like, you want some candy? But I know nowadays that's like frowned upon. If I lived in the 1800s, I would be all over that shit.
That's really channeling Willy Wonka, though.
Yeah. I love Willy Wonka. I would love to be Willy Wonka. He's unhinged in, like, my favorite way. Yeah. Except for the killing kids part. But, you know, we all reach our limits sometimes.
Like, I think it's funny for, like, a character who, like, should be objectively good. Like, a man that makes chocolate and, like, has a chocolate factory, like, makes candy. He should love kids and, like, love him, but he's just so done with it.
But like the whole point of the movie is you slowly realize like, oh, he's like, this contest to get rid of his factory is because he's just tired. And then like at the end he yells at Charlie, and it's like, oh, he's sick of this. Like he is just done. And then Charlie like passes his test, and he like, you know, he's finally free basically, and he's so happy. And I think it's beautiful. I love Willy Wonka.
Yeah. And I guess it's hard to do that in a prequel when you know, obviously he hasn't developed that, like, disdain for it
but, like, I wanted to see him developing the disdain.
There's gotta be something that, like...
We're fucking back to Willy Wonka, guys.
I know, but, like, it would have been so great. It would have been so smart if they'd, like, shown just a little piece of that. Like, an ability, like, the potential for him to become that, like, monster, pretty much. Yeah. And there was just nothing. He was just like, oh, and it's like, that's not Willy Wonka.
Yeah. It was very 2D also. Like, he wasn't like he wasn't a developed character.
I couldn't tell you anything about his personality because there was no character arc. There was nothing. Literally,
he's just like a silly guy.
He wanted something and he got it, you know? And it was like, I don't even care at this point.
Yeah. There wasn't even really a plot to the movie.
And I feel like good characters have flaws. And like, if you can't write good flaws into your character, then, like,
that's usually the best part of the character.
He had no, like, flaws. He just, like, did whatever, and he was like, oh, little orange man. It's like, I don't care about him as a person.
It kind of sucks that we're watching Wonka at the same time as we're watching, like, Avatar. Because those are two, like, they're so vastly different in their craft. Like, Avatar... Every character has, like, phenomenal flaws, and, like, they all use them both to their advantage, but also, like, those are their detriments, you know? Like, it's both. And Willy Wonka, in Wonka...
it was just so flat.
I didn't,
all the characters.
I didn't care about him at all. Yeah. I didn't even care about Noodle that much.
Oh, no, I could not care less about him.
Like, and that sucks. It's like the kid character. You're supposed to love the kid character.
It also makes me mad when they, like, invent a little sidekick for a movie where it's, like, they're not even mentioned in, like, the later movies or anything. There's, like, no connection to them. And it's, like, they're just an NPC at this point. A total side character.
I was just so sad because in the original, like, not even taking into account Johnny Depp's version, because Johnny Depp's version introduces all sorts of lore where it's like the Oompa Loompas are from this, like, jungle, and, like, he's going through and, like, do you remember that? And he, like,
I haven't watched the movie in so long.
Like, slashes through all the vines.
To be honest, the only scene I remember is him eating chocolate with the headgear on.
But, like, Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka introduces all this lore where it's like, here's all this crazy shit that's going on in this world. So we're not on Earth, basically.
Yeah.
But in the original Willy Wonka, they also have that. They have snozberries and they have like Oompa Loompas, and they talk about like the whatever, the blasting something.
Yeah.
Like they could have included anything with that. And yet they had a giraffe. Like, why did they have a giraffe?
They had like weird stuff, like that weird insect thing he was talking about, and then like the implication that Yetis are real, like Yeti sweat or whatever. So there was some of the fantastical.
That was so stupid. But like, it's not
mentioned.
Yeah, it's not the world that was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book, or the original Willy Wonka, or the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka. Like nothing was similar from those three to this Wonka, and I think that's where
there's so much potential too.
Yeah. I'm just mad that they're using his name.
Yeah. I feel like Timothée Chalamet, like, he has the potential to be kind of an edgy, like, dark kind of character. And, like, he just was so insufferable.
Yeah. It was a waste of so many talents.
Yeah. Like, he's not really my favorite actor, but, like, he's a decent actor, you know? Like,
yeah, I've heard he's great in Dune.
Yeah.
So.
Paul. I can't believe their Messiah is named Paul.
That's so dumb.
Oh my god. Anyway, you know what's not in Dune? Top hats, probably. Hopefully not. That would be weird.
You know about the Mad Hatter?
Yeah. Hey, that's Johnny Depp too in that one movie.
Oh yeah. Wow, that guy's fucking everywhere.
He is everywhere.
You know why they're called Mad Hatters? I know you do.
Yes, I do, but tell me again.
In the 18th century, factories use mercury in producing felt. And mercury is poisonous, if you didn't know.
And has mind-altering effects when you're poisoned by it.
Yeah. So people would wear these hats. Also, mostly factory workers, like, they would develop mercury poisoning very rapidly because they were constantly around this. But if you were wearing a felt hat and, like, sweating and, like, the mercury was leaching out into your skull.
Into
like,
your brain.
Yeah. Which it would have caused like early onset dementia either way, but like the fact that it was right on your head, like people's hair fell out, and like it would make them go crazy, basically. So
hilarious.
So people called them Mad Hatters because they were people who either made hats, like the factory workers, because they got it first.
And they're hatters, yeah.
Or it was people who wore hats very often, which is kind of insane.
Isn't it crazy that they used to do tooth fillings with like mercury?
Yeah. It's insane what they used to do, just in general. Everything they used to do.
They put whatever in whatever.
The Radium Girls? Are you kidding?
Yeah. No, they used to put like, there's this one Queen Victoria or something, I don't know, whatever number. And like the makeup that she used to wear had mercury in it, and literally her skin would like fall off.
Yeah. Just like slough off her face.
And she just like, gotta cover that up with makeup. Huh? That's crazy.
Yeah. I just think it's nuts that they like made a name. They were like, oh, those Mad Hatters, instead of being like, oh my god, what these people are like dying.
What is happening? They used to think tomatoes were poisonous because the lead that was in their plates, pewter plates, leached into them and then killed people.
And because tomatoes, like the acid in tomatoes would leach the lead faster, so
than
people...
like bread or something.
Yeah. So people would get sicker eating tomatoes, so they thought they were poisonous, which is why they threw rotten tomatoes at prisoners and stuff.
Yeah. What do you think the tallest top hat ever is?
Oh, shit. Ever? Doug Dimmadome.
Very reminiscent of Doug Dimmadome.
Didn't that guy build... like a Doug Dimmadome top hat that was like hundreds of feet high or something.
Hundreds of feet high?
No, maybe.
That's not what I have here.
Okay.
But this article is from 2018, so maybe there's been an update.
I feel like over quarantine, there was some guy who was like, I'm going to build the tallest top hat. Do you remember that? Did you see that on TikTok?
Vaguely. It's hard though, because like the taller something gets, first of all, it gets a lot heavier. And also it's way harder to balance on your head. Oh my god, that's taller than this one.
Oh my god! It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, well, okay, the one I have is Odilon Ozare's creation, or Ozar.
Okay.
Is 4.8 meters, 15 feet, 9 inches tall.
Wow. 15 feet tall.
Yeah, look at this guy.
That's insane. Wow.
And there's another angle of it.
Tallest hat.
So, he says, hats have always been used to enhance the greatness of the wearer. The taller the hat, the greater the wearer. Who is the greatest American? Abraham Lincoln. Why? In part because of his top hat. That was a quote from him. He put some nice peacock feathers in this hat. Yeah, he's had a passion for hat making since his childhood.
That's awesome.
And his grandma helped instill that passion in him, which was cute. So, yeah. I don't know if he still holds the Guinness Book of World Records title for this tallest hat. I don't know maybe if the construction of the hat matters, like if it's made out of paper. Because this is like a felt hat. Like, this is a hat.
Yeah, like a real hat. Yeah. Made in the style of a top hat. Like,
the one comment is, wow. On this article.
That's pretty good.
And this is on the bookofworldrecords.com. guinnessworldrecords.com.
Although we have to take that with a grain of salt because you can only get into the Guinness Book of World Records if you're paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Can you guess what state that man is from?
Hat. Is there a state with the word hat in it?
It's the craziest state.
Wyoming.
No. State with the craziest people. Come on.
Texas.
Almost.
Florida.
Yep.
Yeah.
Florida man.
That's pretty good.
From Tampa.
Yeah.
So I think he's pretty good.
I'm trying to find...
Congratulations, Odilon.
There was a University of... Oh, this guy's from Wyoming. But there was a University of Wyoming student, Josh Farrell, who made... They made a series of videos where he was walking around UW wearing a very, very tall hat.
So this was recent, though, right?
It was March of 2020, but it was right before everything shut down.
Okay. So that the article I just was referencing was from 2018.
Yeah.
So it could be that this is a much taller hat, and it does look like it might be taller. I don't know if it's a real felted hat.
It probably isn't, but I can't access the article because it keeps making me try to pay.
I hate paywalls.
I hate paywalls too.
Oh my gosh. Well, I found a video, biggest top hat world record, 25 feet, which is taller.
25 feet!
10 feet taller than Odilon's record.
Do you know what fur top hats were traditionally made from?
Beaver.
Yeah.
I read the Wikipedia page.
They used to be called beaver hats.
Yeah. When I think of beaver hats, I think of the raccoon hats.
Yeah, me
obviously,
too.
Like, I was like, oh, a beaver hat.
Yeah.
Totally different animal. Apologies to raccoons everywhere and beavers.
Oh, I love raccoons.
Love raccoons.
I haven't seen a raccoon in a long time.
Me neither. I think the last time I saw a raccoon, like, in the flesh, was in that dumpster.
Yeah.
At a bar near our college.
Yeah, there were... Oh my god, there were
like
so many.
Yeah,
of course I was there. We shined a car light on it or whatever.
Yeah. And they, like, all looked at us.
They were like...
You know that video? Are you a raccoon?
Yeah.
And it's a man's bald head. He was bald.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of another bald person, did you know that JP Morgan, the financier... it's rumored that he had a custom-made limousine built that was taller. It had an extra high roof, so he could ride without taking off his top hat.
That's good. Like, if you're gonna be absurdly rich, do, like, stupid shit like that.
Yeah, maybe also, like, pay for, people's food.
But pay taxes.
But, like, that's silly. That's not, like, a company that's gonna destroy, billions of...
Yeah, it's
lives
like,
and ruin the
do
environment.
That with most of your money, like, actually contribute to society instead of hoarding it like a horrible dragon. I love dragons, but like
one of the evil ones.
Like an evil
not
one
even
that
cool.
Literally like doesn't like. What is the point of money if you're not spending it? Like what? What? Spend it on taxes. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Healthcare. Billionaires. Okay, if all the billionaires in the world contributed like 1% of their wealth, it would avert the climate crisis.
Mm-hmm.
But like, why are they going to do that when they could just hoard their wealth?
Yeah.
Sorry, I could talk about this forever. If you're a billionaire listening, stop.
And also maybe
stop
contribute to our Patreon or whatever. Please.
You have a Patreon?
Support the show. It would be really nice
Support the show.
If you threw $3 a month our way. Because it would be really nice to be able to pay for the hosting fees.
Yeah.
Not out of our own pocket. Yeah. Anyway, top hats have gotten progressively lower.
That's a crime.
Early on, the traditional top hat was up to 8 inches high. Picture that. So your forearm is about 12 inches.
I was going to make a really stupid joke.
I knew you were. So it was
don't worry, I know what it just looks like.
It was like this tall.
That's amazing. Why did we ever go back?
The Victorian era, it said the tallest hat height only reached between 6 and 7 inches, which that's not a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's still like pretty absurdly tall.
But in the 1920s, it hit about 5 inches, and it's still about 5 inches.
Sad. Normal
top hat.
Less than half a foot?
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
And then Abe Lincoln... Abe Lincoln was wearing a top hat once, and somebody shot at him, and it knocked his hat off, but it didn't kill him. But on the night...
They thought his head went all the way They thought they shot him right through the forehead.
Yeah,
they're like, I got him! And then it's like, what?
That's
those people who are wearing like crazy clothes, and then someone will like draw what their
the
body looks like
Yeah.
actually in the clothes, and it's like crazily disproportionate. Someone should do that with Abe Lincoln's head.
Yeah, they really
actually
should.
Little known fact, his head actually filled the whole top hat.
I'm sure I've seen a picture of that before in all my perusings of pictures of Abe Lincoln, but he was also wearing his top hat the night he died, but he put it on the floor next to him during theater performance.
He was so considerate.
And then he was shot in the head. Even though he was in a box. Was somebody behind him in the box?
There should have been no one behind him. Maybe it was just like a thing, like you take your hat off.
Yeah, probably. It's like more,
You take your scarf off.
Yeah.
You
I'm sure it's also like a, high society thing where you're supposed to like take your hat off as a sign of respect.
Yeah. Like it probably would have been a little weird if he was wearing a hat indoors. A top hat. If only he was wearing it. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten killed.
Maybe
they would have just shot.
He would still be alive.
To be honest, I actually think that's a great way to like throw people off.
Wear a hat.
Wear like a top hat. I feel like because it's harder to see than where your head actually is. I feel like it would work. I feel like it would work.
This says that the gibbous hat. It was Antoine Gibault. So I'm guessing it's a Gibault hat.
Which is the collapsible opera hat.
Yeah, but they were called opera hats because they would flatten them and then store them under their seats.
Mm.
But the snapping sound heard, like when you open it and it's like...
I always thought that was like purely a magician thing. Like
no, it's like, that's like an opera hat.
And I didn't realize it was like a real thing that like people just had.
They were also called chapeau cloque, which French cloque is
that
like, it just means slap.
Word?
Yeah. It's like...
I love those.
Chapeau cloque.
Because that's the sound of it. Oh. Wow.
I think that's amazing.
Wow. Did you know that the top hat used to be a Monopoly piece? I know we already did.
Yes, I did.
What's your favorite Monopoly piece?
The dog.
Good answer.
Of course.
Did you know there used to be a battleship?
Yeah, I did know that.
And it's retired now. There was a cannon.
I used to really like the thimble too, but that was because for a brief period of time I collected thimbles. But then I realized that that's kind of stupid.
Yeah. No, I love the thimble too. I feel like that was one of the ones I used to go for.
Oh, I love the boot.
I love the iron too.
I love the iron.
Why'd they retire that? It was so fun. Race cars fun. Purse. Glad that's retired. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I don't love a
Rocking
purse.
horse is fun. I think that's so fun. Lantern.
Lantern.
The lantern's retired. I think that's really fun.
Damn.
Scotty. The wheelbarrow.
Scotty.
I used to play the like app version of Monopoly.
Yeah.
With my childhood best friend because she had an iPad.
Whoa.
And she had the Monopoly game downloaded and we would play and I used to pick the wheelbarrow.
That's good.
Or maybe she played as the wheelbarrow and it was like, would like roll down and I was like the thimble or something. Horse and rider.
Apparently in Monopoly Cheaters Edition, there's a T-Rex with a robot arm. Are you kidding?
Huh? They have a T-Rex in Monopoly now.
What? Why? That's awesome, but why?
Oh, whoa. Okay, lore about the T-Rex. See, I'm not up on my Monopoly lore. I had vaguely remembered that they were getting a T-Rex.
Okay.
So in January 2017, there was a vote for new pieces, and it won that. Received more votes than any new potential game piece. So people really wanted the T-Rex. And then in May of 2022, Hasbro said oh, the T-Rex is gonna head to extinction, and brought back the thimble. Which...
That's so dumb.
I like the thimble, but like you didn't have to kill the dinosaur.
Kids don't even know what a thimble is.
I know. Rubber ducky. That's fun.
Oh, that's good.
I like rubber ducky. And penguin.
I do. Like, I love the collector's editions of Monopoly with, like, fun little pieces, you know? I think those are so silly.
Though. I kind of like when it was just, like, trash. You know? Yeah. Like, just weird trash.
Trash things. And a dog.
And a top hat. Like, that's kind of fun. Various household items. Because then it really feels like you're going from rags to riches.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next time I play Monopoly, I'm gonna join forces with everyone else who's losing so that we can overthrow the winner and then all win.
Create a communist society?
Yeah. I'm gonna say we're actually merging our companies. So now we are one person. Because companies are people, apparently. And then we'll all win. I will be the CEO, of course, but...
Oh, yeah, that seems fair.
No, just kidding. We will join forces. I think that is the best way to play Monopoly game.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Or just not play it at all.
Yeah.
So how would...
Oh, wait. Apparently, the thimble was the piece of choice of the U.S. Monopoly champion.
Oh, lame.
Richard Marinaccio.
That's dumb.
And did you know Monopoly was created by Lizzie Maggie in the early 1900s, and then some man came and took credit for her idea.
Awesome. Cool.
Charles Darrow? Fuck you, man.
So it's really built on like all the values that
literally. And Lizzie, in the early 1900s, invented this game as a way to demonstrate the greedy land grabbing that robber barons were doing in the Gilded Age. The most anti-capitalist you could be. You know, like, this is so bad.
Yeah.
And then, this fucking guy, Charles, came and was like, well, I love capitalism. I'm going to make it into a game about how great it is.
Oh, God.
So now everyone's like, oh, this game is so fun. Ugh. You forget the message.
Yeah.
It's like, this is how capitalism works, you know? To get, like... There's going to be a winner who owns everything.
Yeah.
And everyone else is done, you know?
This says that
awful.
Charles Darrow was invited to his friend's house for dinner, and they played the Landlord's Game, which was the original version of Monopoly that Lizzie made. And then he asked for a written set of rules of the Landlord's Game, and then he used that to distribute the game himself as Monopoly. And then people brought the rights from him.
Oh my God.
That sucks so bad. Because
he literally just like took it. He was like, oh.
Yeah, he was like, can
I play this game like in my own? And she was
Can I have the rules?
I was like, yeah, like. And then he was like, all right, I'm making it and selling it as my own.
And he probably got so rich off of it.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I guess that's Monopoly there.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway,
how would you use this top hat?
I would put it on other things.
Yeah, I love...
Like, that's the best piece
I keep thinking about the frog with the top hat.
I know! Frog with the top hat, bear with the top hat, dog with the top hat. Mostly animals, I think, are the best ones.
Yeah, any animal with, like, the front facing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What about a little chick with the top hat?
Ooh, that could be good. That's like the one coming out of the egg.
Yeah. I just think it adds a layer of fanciness. And dapperness to whatever you put it on.
Yeah.
I think that's the main way I would use it.
It elevates everything a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Wow.
Oh, I feel like it could also be fun to say, like, I'm on top, bro.
Ooh.
Top. You know?
Yeah. Oh, you know the frogs from Meet the Robinsons?
Yeah. Do you wear top hats?
They wear something. I think they wear bowler hats because the bowler hat guy has the bowler hat.
What is that? Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling.
Yeah.
That frog guy. He wears a top hat. Did you know that song was written to make fun of the word hello?
Yeah.
Because it was written around when the telephone was invented.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, people didn't say hello. That wasn't a thing that was said. You said, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Or, like, good day.
Yeah.
And then Alexander Graham Bell, well, he wanted people to say ahoy.
Which would have been so much cooler.
I know. But then eventually hello was, like, the phrase he came up with. So then people were, like, making fun of it because he's like, oh, that sounds stupid. Hello, my baby. Hello, my...
Yeah, it's Michigan J. Frog singing, hello, my ragtime gal, on the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
But the frogs in Meet the Robinsons are in that band, and they do jazz.
Yeah.
And then they wear the little bowler hats.
Yeah.
That come out of the bigger bowler hat.
I think there should be a bowler hat emoji.
Maybe.
Could be nice.
Could be nice.
I feel
but
like...
then we'd have to do a lot of hats.
I know. Well, there's a cap.
There's a cap. There's a top hat.
Is there a construction hat?
Probably, yeah.
What other
hats
are there? What do you think?
There's the graduation cap. There's the rescue worker's helmet. Mm-hmm. There's the straw hat. Although it's called woman's hat, which I don't love. Interesting.
Lame. So I think it's interesting, too, that, like, a top hat was very popular. Like, it kind of defined this, like, period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, all the men with their overcoats and their top hats and their canes. It's like a very, like, it's very evocative of that, like, time. What do you think our hat is?
Oh, man.
This time? I think it's like a baseball cap?
Maybe, but I feel like that's more like 90s, you know?
Yeah.
Like the 90s is so baseball cap.
Yeah. I guess then is the question, like, a lot of, like, clothing trends have just gotten so, like, condensed into, like, time.
Yeah.
Like, things move so much faster now because of the internet and social media.
Like, we were talking about this.
Bucket hats were a thing for a little while.
Bucket hats, yeah. We were talking about this before, where it was like, you know, the distance between, like, women wearing, like, crazy dresses and now is not far at all.
Really, it's not. Yeah.
And yet we go through, like, so many fashion trends in just a couple years.
Yeah.
Like, the 2000s are coming back. Are you kidding? It's only 2020. Like,
2020.
It's, well, like, it's the 2020s.
Yeah.
So,
no,
like, the fact that, like, the early Aughties are coming back is, like, that's insane.
It's going to cycle again? Like, because the, like, 80s fashion was kind of really big for a while. It's, like
where are we going?
I think I saw a theory that was, like, at a certain point in time, like, the recycling of trends has become so quick that eventually everything is just going to be in style. Like, and I feel like we're approaching that.
That sounds awesome, though, because it feels like it feels like when you're in, like, the Second Life lobby, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody has, like, crazy avatars and shit, and, like, somebody's got wings, and, like, somebody's, like, a Victorian child.
Yeah, I heard it described, too, because, like, there's kind of this thing about being, like, really early to the trend. Like, obviously, there has to be some kind of trend setter that, like, sets the trend. So, like, they're, like, ahead. Mm-hmm. So, like, they're wearing things that are technically not, like, in style at the time, but they're, like, setting the next trend. But then at the same time, you're having people that are late to the trend and are wearing things that, like, kind of already went out of fashion.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it's like, where does one end and the other begin?
Yeah, where's the line?
At a certain point, because things are moving so fast now, it's like everyone is going to be both ahead and behind. So everything is just going to be in style.
I hate it so much.
I'm excited, though. Like, I'm sick of, like, things being in or out of style.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Like, I just want to wear whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, when skinny jeans were, like, the main thing, I hated it because I simply, like, I have sensory issues. I can't wear tight pants, tight jeans. Those aren't comfy. And then when, like, baggier jeans started to make, like, more of a comeback, I was, like, so hype. All my pants are baggy because then I was like,
I don't know. I'm
just weird for, like, wearing this.
I've always worn kind of whatever the hell I wanted. Yeah. So, like, I feel like I'm not.
I have so much anxiety about, like, the way I'm perceived. That
it's, like, see, that's kind of,
I've just always been so hyper-focused on it.
That makes so much sense. But also in my mind, I don't have a body. So, like, whatever I put on it is, like nobody sees me. So, I think that's why I can just, like, wear crazy shit all the time.
I think I've gotten to the point where I wear whatever makes me happy, you know?
That's good.
And, like, a lot of times it is inspired by, like, whatever's, like, more in style, like, which is literally just what I see people wearing, like, online, around the city, like, in different places, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I want to wear something like that. Mm-hmm. And I just wear it. Like, I don't have to, like, is this in style or what?
Yeah,
whatever.
That's fair.
Anyway,
weirdly
Off topic. I guess fashion. But I think top hats should make a comeback.
Yeah. I tried wearing...
I want to go to the club and see some top hats.
I tried wearing the Willy Wonka top hat for a little bit during high school, and it just,
It's hard being a trendsetter.
It's a little bit cumbersome because it was very tall.
Yeah, you ever, get it knocked off in the doorway or something?
Yeah. I also, not in a doorway. I'm very short, but, I would knock it on things. Or, I'd bend over and it would fall and it'd be embarrassing.
I wonder if they did that a lot.
Oh, probably.
Back then. That's really funny to me.
That's probably why they had canes, so they could, flip it back up, Oh. Well, not why they had canes, but, a use for a cane. Yeah. Yeah, but I love a top hat. I'd love to wear one of those guys again one day.
I don't know if I've ever worn a top hat.
We'll make it happen.
Thank you.
They're pretty fun. Especially, felt ones.
I feel like the traditional, felt. I really want a cane.
Yeah.
So I can, hit people with it.
I've always wanted a cane with, a little compartment for powder. Because I'm a chemist and I need to have, some kind of powder or poison or something in a cane. I need it.
Not drugs.
Maybe cocaine.
Okay.
What if it was crushed up Advil, but I snorted it like cocaine?
Oh my god. Is Advil okay to snort?
Probably.
Yeah.
If you can take anything...
not as effective.
I mean, if you take anything orally, the nasal cavity is just connected to your...
Yeah, I'm sure some of it would get stuck in the...
Sure, and filtered out through your nasal hairs or whatever. But
yeah,
that's fine. I'm not snorting Advil for the effects. I'm snorting Advil for...
Is snorting cocaine, does it just go down your throat?
I don't know.
Does it go does it get absorbed in your actual
Are you asking why people didn't just eat cocaine?
Well, there's a bear that did just that.
Oh my god.
And it really worked.
I love Cocaine Bear. I love her so much. That should be our next big one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for the next time, whenever we decide to come back, I think we should do the banjo.
Oh my god.
I love a banjo. I've been really into folksy music lately, so...
I love a banjo. We can tell some banjo jokes.
Oh my god.
You know about banjo jokes?
Maybe.
The whole joke is that anyone who plays a banjo is just the biggest loser. That's the joke of it.
That's so sad. My dad my dad plays the banjo.
No, okay, this is gonna sound like the whitest shit ever, but I went to a bluegrass concert once with my parents.
Okay.
And there was this one part where they just kind of poked fun at the banjo player. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a little taste. One of my favorite ones is, so he was telling a story. He was I had my banjo in the backseat of the car, and I went into the store and I came back out and my car was broken into. My first thought was oh my god, my banjo was so expensive, that's my instrument. And I check in the car and there's 2 banjos.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's one of my favorite banjo jokes. It's just it's such a silly niche genre of jokes.
So tell us your favorite banjo jokes and tell us your favorite color of top hat. You can let us know at theemojipodcast@gmail.com.
And be sure to check out our Instagram at the Emoji Podcast. There's probably going to be some really amazing pictures over there.
Yeah, the tall ass top hats. Yes, don't even worry about it.
A little collapsible
giboo, probably. Yeah.
Little opera hat there.
Yeah, check it out. That Instagram is at the Emoji Podcast.
Yeah.
It's a fun guy. I like this one.
Yeah. Can't say anything bad about him.
Yeah, he's one of the top. Anyway, thanks to Tommy Shinfield for the intro and outro music that you're going to hear. And thanks for listening. And it would be really nice if you would rate and review and subscribe and email us and all that. That would be really cool.
Yeah. If you write us a cool email, we'll read it.
Yeah.
And read it on the podcast, too.
We promise. We'll do both.
Yeah, and tune in next week for the banjo.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Put some banjo music in.
Yeah, I'll put some little stings in. Well, I've been Emma.
I'm Callie.
This was the Emoji Podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Peace out.
Bye.